Is lost ever be found? Could a garden come up from this ground at all? You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. All around, hope is springing up from this old ground. Out of chaos, life is being found in you. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. Oh, you make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful.
I remember when I went to Guatemala last year on the mission trip, I got to pray for this little girl. Her mom brought her up to us and wanted prayer. And we spent a few seconds trying to figure out what she needed because I don't speak Spanish. Finally, we got a translator to come up, and the mother told us that her daughter had always walked unevenly and it caused problems in her hips and her waist. And I remember just getting on my knees and grabbing her legs in my hands and thinking to myself, just these beautiful feet that have walked all over Guatemala, and just wanting to see God move. And I just started to speak to her legs and commanded that leg to grow out that was too short, and didn't really notice anything until she got up from sitting down, and for the first time probably in her whole life, she walked totally straight, totally evenly. And I'll never forget the look on the little girl's face, because it was almost like she couldn't believe it was happening. And I could believe it was happening because I'd seen it before, but to see God do it through me there in Guatemala was completely life-changing, and I'll never forget it. My favorite experience, definitely, was seeing God pour out His joy in Guatemala. The last night we were there, we got to minister at a church. And I'd been praying that morning about God pouring out more of His joy on the people there in Guatemala, because I hadn't seen a lot of that. And joy was something that He really poured into me. So the last time we were ministering, we were during a fire tunnel, and I'll never forget it. We were praying for people and just asking the Holy Spirit to just fall all over people. And this lady was coming through the fire tunnel, and she just stopped and looked at me. She didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to her. There's no way we could communicate because she didn't speak any English and I didn't speak Spanish. She comes to the line and stops. But she wasn't close enough for me to even like lay hands on her. She just kind of stopped a few people down and stared at me. And then she stared at me, I just started smiling. And I noticed that she started smiling. And I started laughing and she started laughing. And she goes through the rest of the fire tunnel, and I watch her for the rest of the night, and she's just laughing hysterically. Well, toward the end of the night, we're heading out from the church, and the same lady walks up to me. She's running up to me. She's so excited. She starts speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm thinking, I don't understand a word of what you're saying. So another member of the team who spoke Spanish came up and started to translate. And this is what the woman told me in her own words. She said, I don't know what you did to me, but from the moment you smiled at me in that fire tunnel, I have not been able to stop laughing. And I was just so excited because God totally just hit her with joy. The next day she comes back to share her testimony. She told us that she'd been in depression for 12 years because she'd been in an abusive relationship. So in one night, she went from the woman that was stuck in depression to the woman that could not stop laughing uncontrollably. And I just love that. I loved seeing God take what was on my life, which is joy, and pouring it out on her. Why do I want to go back? I guess I want to go back because these Mayan pastors who go into remote villages where there aren't any Bibles, there aren't any schools, there are just people who live in these villages. I feel like these pastors could use some encouragement. I want to be able to go back to support them, and if I can support and encourage by demonstrating the kingdom, then I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to love on their kids and bless their kids and show their kids how to engage in prophetic worship and engage in prophetic arts. And I think it would be amazing to be able to do that. But most importantly, I want them to experience love. I want them to experience the Father's heart for themselves, like to know the Father's love. Because love never fails and love never runs out.